machine and do it all again. Amanda Marie, and would stand up if you're around there somewhere.
Amanda, okay. Amanda, it's a great question. I like where I'm sitting, so I wouldn't do a whole lot different, but I would say that if I could do it over again, there were periods of time at Spanx where I stopped playing in my lane. And I'm a product person, I'm an inventor. I like the sales, the marketing, and the product side of it. And a period of time, what I think happens to a lot of business owners is as the business started to grow, I got removed away from that. I didn't even really realize it was happening. And then I spent all day, every day just dealing with business problems. Like there was this organization around me, and when things were bad enough, they bubbled up to me. And so all day, every day, I was dealing with like really bad crisis stuff, which happens daily in business. And I became really unhappy. And I didn't know why, and I was feeling super burned out. And I realized, wait, I am really far removed from the thing that got me the most excited and jazzed about doing this. So I wasn't the CEO of Spanx for a period of time. And about 4 years ago, I stepped back in as the CEO. And when I stepped back in as the CEO, more day to day, I said, I'm basically going to be very close to product. And I meet with product every week. I'm in the fit room. I try every product on, and I couldn't be happier. I still deal with the problems, but it's not the only thing I do anymore. I get to stay close to your love.
Beautiful.
As the business grows.
That's awesome. Perfect. Henry Villa says, how do you grow a company the size of Spanx with no outside capital or external investment? You kind of answered that a little bit, but maybe if there's anything else you'd add to that?
Where's Henry?
And may I ask, I don't know if it's a private company, can't mention, but what's the size of the company today, or the number of products or people, or give people a sense without getting into your private business?
I mean, we have like over 200, we have probably between 200 and 400 products.
Wow.
We're all over the world. And, it's just been really an awesome journey. So, but Henry, I think I saw you over here. Yeah, hey, Henry. The question's, how did I do this with just $5,000?
Yeah, with no outside capital or any external investment by anyone else.
Yeah, I kind of talked a little bit about it, but I was willing to start small, and I only ever invested in the sales that were coming in. That was just what was comfortable for me. And I've never really had a strong need to go to outside funding. So that's really how that happened. And I worked really, really, really hard. Really hard.
So many things other people would have hired someone to do, you did, or you bootstrapped.
And it's 20 years into this, and someone will bring me something, and I'll be like, can we do this ourselves? Like, what? Because what I have found most of the time, it's very seductive to start to say, we can afford the experts.
Yes.
You start to bring in the experts, like the marketing experts come, and then these people come, and I have found that oftentimes, even when you have the money to afford all of that, you get the best results when you kind of bootstrap it. And I'm always looking for that authentic thread too. I think if things are too perfect and too polished, sometimes you can feel a little disconnected from consumers and each other. So I've never been that worried about fumbling my way through it and being able to laugh about it. So I think that's it. But I'm very grateful that I own my company and 100%. That I made those choices.
Give her hands, beautiful. Milo Carbera, hope I'm pronouncing. She says, female to female, can you tell us about your daily habits, particularly how you manage to keep your health and beauty routines up while running $1 billion empire? What is your philosophy concerning scheduling me time? Any additional advice for female CEOs in a tough time who are having a tough time keeping up?
I like this woman because she was asked to ask one question,
and she managed to get 5 in there.
Talk about maximizing your opportunity, girlfriend. I love that. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to answer all of them, but I would say, I haven't always done it right, and I haven't always put myself first. And there are times in the business where I can put myself more first and times where I do take a back seat. In the beginning, I really took a back seat. I mean, I worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for probably about 4 years. And my headquarters was my apartment for the first 2 years, so it was really hard to separate myself from that. But this past year in 19, believe it or not, I went to my team and I said to them, every year I say I'm gonna work out, and every year I say I'm gonna make time for it, and I haven't done it in years, ever. So this year I'm gonna say, I'm gonna make time to work, and here's the hour that I'm gonna work out every single day, and everything else has to fall around it. And just me declaring that, it's happened. So for all of 19 was the first year in my whole Spanx journey that I worked out every day.
Man, but that's awesome.
So I was very proud of that. And then one thing I did that really helped me was I bucketed my days. So I realized I cannot believe how long this took me to figure out. But you know, as an entrepreneur, we're wearing every hat. We're almost every department. So in one day, I'm like sitting in a meeting and they're asking me about a bra, and I'm like wearing the bra and giving feedback. And then 5 minutes later, I have a legal issue and I'm sitting with my lawyers and they're talking to me about something. And then, you know, an hour later, I'm in an employee situation and trying to help solve an employee crisis. And then, you know, 20 minutes later, my kid's school calls. And I would come home every day and be exhausted and feel like I got nothing done and a bunch of arrows were being shot at me. And that's all I felt. I was just come home and be like, and I had like monkey brain. So what happened was I wasn't allowing myself to have enough time for context. So I felt like I was making bad decisions. I was frustrated a lot of the time. An example would be my team would come in and go, Sarah, do you like the blue package or the red package? Or, you know, the green package and the purple package? I'd be like, purple. And then, you know, it launches next to a competitor that's purple. And I'm like, what? Like, I never would have picked purple if I'm seeing that we're in a C, you know, and they're like, well, and I was, you know, I'd be frustrated they didn't tell me that. They'd be frustrated I didn't ask the question. So now what I do is I have themed days.
It's great.
It's not always
Chunking.
perfect.
RPM.
Yeah, it's not always perfect, but Mondays, I work from home. Tuesdays, I know that I'm marketing brand and all things dealing with the brand. Wednesday, I meet with all my leaders and I do visioning for the company. Thursday is my product day. I only work on product. Friday's a swing day for me too now. I may work at home, I may come into the office. But Friday and Monday is when I try to allocate time for myself to think. Thinking is super critical and spending that time doing that. So that made a huge difference because now the whole company knows, like they can plan and be like, Tuesdays when Sarah's thinking about this and I meet with the right people. And
it allows
wow,
you also to
made a
put
difference.
concentration of power into one category instead of being scattered, right? So it's huge.
Yeah.
We
And
teach the process of RPM, which is getting your life that way and scheduling it that way. So that's incredibly powerful.
So all of those helped me a lot. And, you know, I've